so they're kind of made, now you have to get a 4 out of 5 or et cetera. But the test itself runs around $100, and they also, if you're low income, you can sometimes take it for free as well. Our school doesn't require all students to take the test. Some schools do. Some schools even pay for the test for the students that choose to do so. And if you go ahead and take the test and score high enough, you can earn anywhere from 3 to 6 hours of credit for history. I'm not sure about ELA if it's only 3. And 6 hours of credit for $90, that's $15 a credit hour. That's like 1950s prices probably. So that's basically the gist of it.
So yeah.
Whereas dual credit, I can find that too. You take the course, whatever score your classroom instructor gives you out to high school. As long as you score a C or above, you can get college credit through a Dickkut or a community college.
Way for a child to test out of college classes and get college credit, basically,
yeah, that's
for
what
students. And it is a huge benefit as far as college credit hours are expensive, but it's rigorous.
So is there a way, if you get all the way up to AP classes, that the policy could state that if it does not violate state statute,
That AP students would have access to all curriculum needed? We could add that bullet point in here.
Let the parents decide.
That couldn't just be a procedure? That the procedurally at the beginning? I don't know.
Someone's gonna have to forgive me, have we voted on your allow? We have not voted on the allow, right? Yeah, we're still, that's the amendment.
No, because that's why I asked, I was like, that was how we got down the discussion, because I asked, would parents need to allow all material if they were in an AP course? That's how we got down that.
Right.
Well, that's borderline policy.
so if the parent of that AP student says, no, we're not doing this, then that student cannot take an AP class, right?
No.
I mean, because they're covering that material that,
Well, I think the question was asked that normally they would be given options, and that would reflect maybe poorly on our AP.
on their outcome.
Well, forgive me, Ms. Beasley, I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but the student, if there was a restricted book, a student could find a suitable option?
I do not teach the course, but
Okay.
Mrs. Pai asked me to read a
Okay.
quote from the AP website
Okay.
regarding that.
Thank you.
So, are we saying that our list of AP books includes books that violate the statute and contain obscene material, text without images that's so patently offensive that taken as a whole it lacks serious artistic value? I mean, I would hope that books in an AP course would be furthering viewpoints and understanding and critical thinking, and I would hope that those would be the kind of books that would not reach this policy. I mean, this is not
So-
intended to be that.
Right. I think we could go ahead and move on your amendment if we want to. And if that is, we can always come back to this. If we find out that that is going to put our students at risk, we can come in and add another section into this policy if we find out. But I agree with you. I would think that those books would have some critical thinking components to them that would not.
There's a reason they're there.
Right.
Because they offer value to the education of the child.
Right.
Provide the serious literary, scientific,
Right.
political, and artistic
Right.
value.
So I think, yeah. Do I have a motion by Ms. Lockridge? And I have a second by
Me.
Dr. Kercher. Do I have any additional discussion about Ms. Lockridge's proposed third amendment to the policy? Seeing none, I move that we vote. All those in favor of her amendment, please raise your right hand. All those opposed, same sign. Seeing none, the third amendment passes. Is there other discussion now on the original motion that has been amended 3 times? So the first one was the last paragraph. The second one was the objective that we added, and the third amendment was adding or allow in 2 different places and changing the word restrictions to instructions. So do I have other discussion with all those considerations to the original? Do we want to call for the question? Are we ready to vote on the original motion with the 3 amendments? Just want to say I appreciate all the thought. I know that the board has done a lot of contemplating on this, and I have personally put all the rhetoric that I've heard aside and put a student in front of me and try to determine what I would want for the education of our students. I think it's imperative we have differing viewpoints in our curriculum. And but I also think it's responsible to say those varying viewpoints can have some decorum about them when we discuss them. And so this has been an extremely difficult struggle for me as I've wrestled with this, and I know the rest of the board has done that as well. So that I want to graduate critical thinkers. I want people to be empathetic. I want them to understand this is a public school system, and we have to prepare them to go out into a real world. So I personally I'm okay with the leadership and staff, from our librarians to our instructors to our administration, to look at these parameters and say, yes, that's okay for a 16-year-old, or say, you know, most of our students in this district, maybe that is more suited for an 18-year-old. And we allow them to make those kind of judgment calls all the time when they see students. They grade papers, they evaluate essays, and so they make judgments all the time. So I trust our staff that they can do that. And I think that the wording in there, what's suitable material for minors, I think that is legal language that the attorney helped put in there. So I don't want to rush us, but if I can call for the question if there's not any other discussion. All those in favor of the policy as it is written with the 3 amendments, please raise your right hand. All those opposed, same sign. Seeing none, the motion passes unanimously with the 3 amendments. Thank you. Next on our agenda is board member comments. So this evening I'm going to start with Ms. Clark. We just rearrange it, so.
Well, we've had a long meeting, and the last thing I want to do is bloviate anymore. But one thing I would just ask from everyone, because I have so much respect for our staff and our teachers. I think one of the things that, and I don't know when this happened, but one of the things that's been lost is this assumption of good intent. When I was growing up, adults assumed that other adults had good intentions. And somewhere that went away. And I agree with Ms. Dickkut. The vilification of our staff is uncalled for. I'm just going to say that again. They're fabulous professionals. No one is ever perfect, but I am begging that we go back to a time, and I don't mean just blind loyalty, because that doesn't fit in anywhere, but assume good intent in one another, all of us, and that's all.
Dr. Kercher?
Everybody go home safe.
Thank you. Mr. Grenier?
Thank you, everybody, for coming. Thanks for all the input. I think it really helped tonight.
Ms. Peck?
Just thank you to all the community members that came tonight, and a special thank you to our staff and our teachers. We have a great school district. Is it perfect? No. But we've got a great core, and it takes a village. I know it's been said before, but it really does. And I would also just echo what Mrs. Clark had to say. We shouldn't demonize one another. We could get so much farther for our students if we could work together. Thank you.
Ms. Earley?
Same, thank you all for being here, and I know some of you aren't real comfortable with speaking in front of others, and I just truly appreciate you taking the time and the energy and speaking your heart, and it went a long way. Tomorrow, we don't have administration here, so tomorrow we have a Pearl Harbor program at the middle school at 9 o'clock in the PAC, and it's band and speakers. Choir.
Usually, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It is.
So that'll be very exciting. And then, I know Andy and I have talked, or Ms. Lockridge and I have talked about it, but on our next board meeting, we have the winter band concert. Starting at, is it starting at 5 or starting at 6?
I don't know on my phone, sorry.
And I think it starts at 5. So at 5, so it might not cause any problem, but
It's 6th grade through high school, though. It takes a long time.
yeah.
Okay, and you both have
I have a middle
students
schooler, yeah.
in that,
And middle schooler plays first, so
and you have a senior.
yeah.
And junior.
And
And
I love band, so.
And I,
Well, is it the pleasure of the board to try to move that to a different night to accommodate, since we have, that's a major conflict for board members there for the, do you all want us to look at a different date? We would notice the public much in advance, but if there may be, the Monday night that week would be better, or that Wednesday night of that week would be better.
The 18th, the Monday.
Well, there's a choir concert that
Oh, that's right.
Dr.
I don't
Robinson,
know,
what's your
avoiding-
opinion? I hate to move a meeting, but I also don't want to interfere with, we volunteer as a board, and our kids we do this for our kids, so
Let's look at some options.
we'll look at some options.
I appreciate that.
yeah, thank you.
So maybe we could look at, I'm leaning
That
at
way you know
the,
what time it starts, so when you
yeah, so we'll look at some options
And I thought it started at 5, yeah. Yeah.
and we'll note, we'll,
Let's talk with the band instructors and see.
I could have Kelly send out a survey, and we'll try to find something that week that meets the best schedule maybe, so that we're not interfering, and we see if we can.
Can she contact Mr. Jennings to see what he thinks
Yeah,
of
we
the
can do that.
timeline?
Of the
As
time
well.
on the 19th.
Mhm.
Yeah. Thank you for bringing that up. Make note of that. And then we'll make sure we notice the public in advance on that. So, anything else, Ms. Earley?
No.
Ms. Lockridge?
I'd just like to thank everyone for the thoughtful input. You read the materials before you come in, and you think you know what you think, and then you listen and you go, well, maybe I think something different now. And it takes everybody providing their viewpoints, and then that allows us to have a full discussion. So that's very, very important. And, just because if the policy that got voted on came down maybe a little bit different than what you were requesting, hopefully we can all be on the same page that we're in this for the kids. We're not here to ban books unnecessarily. We're not here to put, handcuffs on the educators. They're professionals. They know what they're doing. We trust them to do a good job. Would you put your sign down, please? It's distracting me.
Freedom of speech.
I'll put it right.
Well, I'm asking you
I'll put it-
respectfully. Would you
I'll
please
put it
put
right
down?
here.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. So I would just say, continue the dialogue. If you have concerns, email, talk to us. It is helpful. It helps create a full discussion around a policy like this because this is a difficult issue and it does take everybody. So thank you for your input.
Dr. Robinson? I just want to thank everyone for coming out this evening and for being courteous to one another. We are the example for our kids. And so tonight I think we were able to demonstrate for those watching and for our students how to have a civil debate on something that's an extremely difficult subject. There's a lot of emotion in this room, and I appreciate the self-control. I do agree with Ann's words that we will further ourselves when we treat each other respectfully. And so I just want to say thanks. It's December, the holidays are coming, and I hope everybody has a fabulous time with their families this month, and that you can just remember some good things about this month and why we do all these things that we do. And with that, I adjourn this meeting. Thank you.
Dan?